H3H3 Productions is one of the biggest channels on YouTube, and their wacky, over-the-top, and quite frankly outrageous videos have delighted the hearts and minds of millions. But how did they get here? Well, I'm glad you asked, because today I'm going to answer the most important question of 2017. Who are H3H3 Productions? Ethan Klein was born on June 24, 1985 in Ventura, California. Not much is known about his early life other than the fact he attended Buena High School and would later go on to attend the University of California in Santa Cruz, where he studied English literature and would eventually graduate with a bachelor's degree in creative writing. While on a birthright trip to Israel, he met his future wife, Hila Hackman. The two immediately hit it off, forming a creative partnership that would become the channel we know today as H3H3 Productions. One of their first collaborations together was a video project for one of Hila's college classes. The video in question was called Chocolate.
Oh, hi gang. My name's Ethan Klein, and did you know that eating chocolate 8 times a day can lower your chances of cancer? Hey, don't take it from me. Ask the scientists. For your health.
They continued making weird and absurd comedy videos, but little did they know that one of them would be the catalyst for catapulting them into YouTube superstardom. Warm It Up EXE, that's a 10, was the first H3H3 video to achieve major success, with over 10 million views and counting since its initial upload on May 24th, 2013. But this was only the beginning, as later that same year they uploaded a video titled Nice Guy Reads, which was the first in their reaction video series. But this wasn't your typical reaction video where the person in question plays the video in its entirety while adding nothing transformative. These were a perfect balance between commentary and comedy. Not to mention it was interactive, as Ethan would often interact with Hila, which added some much needed charm and personality to the show. It could have been just another box standard commentary series that made fun of cringy things on the internet, but Ethan's comedic reactions and interactions with Hila made it stand out from the rest of the pack. This video launched a series that would become a YouTube staple, subsequently raising the bar for other channels to follow. Ethan and Hila evolved from a married couple making silly comedy videos to YouTube superstars, but the path to popularity was far from an easy one, and as we all know, you can't become popular without making a few enemies. Ethan and Hila continued to make reaction videos throughout 2014 and 2015, mocking cringy videos, internet trends, and YouTube pranksters, with one of their most popular targets being SoFlo Antonio. SoFlo was notorious for stealing other people's content and not giving them any credit. This was brilliantly showcased in a video titled SoFlo Antonio's Facebook page, in which Ethan called out Antonio for his blatant freebooting, which just so happened to include this video from a popular YouTuber that you might recognize. Ethan didn't just criticize Antonio for stealing the video, but took it a step further by reaching out to the person who originally made it, which turned out to be popular YouTube personality Liza Koshy, who was none too happy that her content was being stolen, stating, and I'm directly quoting her here, "This dude straight up ripped off my content." But it wasn't just Liza's video, hundreds upon thousands of videos had been stolen from other content creators thanks to Antonio's unethical business practices. In retaliation, a parody Facebook page called SoFlo Bro was created. In these parody videos, Ethan would play a short intro before SoFlo's own original videos, to give him a taste of what he had done to so many other content creators for years. A few months later, the page was shut down by Facebook, with all the likes being transferred to SoFlo's Facebook page, a tactic that Ethan referred to as Facebook like laundry. SoFlo didn't take too kindly to all of this negative attention, so he threatened to sue H3H3 for defamation, which went about as well as you'd expect, and by that I mean nobody took him seriously, and they all had a good laugh at his expense. Another one of H3H3's most popular targets was Prank Invasion, a channel notorious for their totally real kissing pranks. Unfortunately, their first video on prank invasion, titled Kissing Pranks, was taken down by YouTube MCN Fullscreen, despite the video falling under fair use. Ethan later made a video calling out Fullscreen for their blatant abuse of the Content ID system. This caused such an uproar on social media that Fullscreen was forced to retract their claim, thus reinstating the video in question. While all of this was going on, Ethan and Hila moved from Israel to the United States, specifically Los Angeles. A few months later, they moved to New York City when JonTron offered Hila a job as a producer. They also expanded beyond reaction videos with smash hits such as How to Make Modern Art, the DJ Khaled documentary, and of course, Vape Nation. Within the span of a year, H3H3 became one of the most respected channels on YouTube, with over 2 million subscribers by the end of 2015. The stars were seeming to align for the YouTube power couple. But unbeknownst to them or anyone else, 2016 would be a difficult year as they faced controversy from a Leaf and a very, very bold guy who would threaten to destroy all they had built. Leafyishere was a popular YouTube commentator who would commentate on videos he deemed cringy, which mostly consisted of autistic people and little kids. He took a step too far when he went after Tommy NC 2010 with a video titled The Most Heroic FEDORA Man on the Internet. As you can probably imagine, Leafy's roasting of Tommy caused his rabid fanbase to attack him, which resulted in Tommy breaking down on camera.
I'm having a difficult time right now because some people are threatening my life, threatening my family, and all I wanted to do was inspire people. Some Leafy guy or Team Starred people are threatening me, and all I wanted to do was inspire. That's all.
Shortly after this, Ethan made a video titled The Leafy Rant, where he called out Leafy for his incessant bullying of people who can't defend themselves, and his ridiculous clickbait titles and thumbnails. Leafy took the video in question down and issued a formal apology, stating it was a mistake. He then fired back at H3H3 with a response titled The H3H3Productions Rant, criticizing Ethan for jumping on the hate bandwagon against him. He also pointed out the hypocrisy of H3H3 calling him out for making fun of kids when they had done the same in the past. The video would be eventually unlisted after Ethan admitted that he should have sorted out his issues with Leafy in private. On April 27, 2016, Ethan and Hila announced that a video they had uploaded to their second channel titled The Big, the Bold, the Beautiful had been taken down due to a DMCA claim. But that wasn't all. Far from it, in fact. The creator of the video that Ethan and Hila reacted to, Matt Haas, filed a lawsuit against them for copyright infringement and defamation, with Haas's lawyer Tim Bucher claiming that the video used more than 70% of his work while contributing nothing substantive to it. YouTube personality Philip DeFranco set up a GoFundMe page to help with H3H3's legal fees. The fundraiser raised nearly $170,000, thanks to big contributions from the likes of the Fine Brothers, PewDiePie, Notch, Justin Roiland, and Jacksepticeye, to name a few. The raised funds were then placed into a trust account known as the Fair Use Protection Account, or FUPA for short. This was formed to not only help H3H3 fight their legal battle against Haas, but to help other YouTubers who were dealing with litigation. The law firm Morrison & Lee LLP, ran by Ryan Morrison, aka Video Game Attorney, and Michael Lee, represented Ethan and Hila for the first few months of the case until they mutually decided to part ways in November 2016 due to things quote-unquote not working out. The case was set to go to trial on April 17, 2017, but was adjourned in a summary judgment ruling, which is a fancier way of saying it was postponed to a later date. For months, people waited to hear the outcome of the lawsuit. If Ethan and Hila won, it would be a huge victory for fair use on YouTube, but if they lost, it could have negative repercussions for everyone on the site. And then, on August 23, 2017, the most amazing thing happened. They actually won the lawsuit, with Judge Catherine B. Forrest stating, "Any review of the Klein video leaves no doubt that it constitutes critical commentary of the Haas video. There is also no doubt that the Klein video is decidedly not a market substitute for the Haas video. For these and the other reasons set forth below, defendants' use of clips from the Haas video constitutes fair use as a matter of law. She also stated that the video was quintessential comment and criticism. They got sued by someone who didn't like being made fun of, went to hell and back to prove their innocence, and ultimately came out victorious. If that isn't an inspiration to YouTubers everywhere, then I don't know what is. To say that H3H3Productions is one of the most important YouTube channels of the last decade is an understatement. They make fun of cringy videos and dumb internet trends, and they expose some of the scummy individuals that lurk on this website. But behind it all are two regular people who just like to make people laugh with their absurd and outrageous sense of humor, and we all love them for it. With over 4.8 million subscribers and counted, H3H3 is more than a YouTube staple. They're internet legends, and for that I must say, Papa bless. Now, I'm pretty sure you're wondering why I didn't cover the whole CSGO Lotto scandal, and that's because that situation is so big, so massive, and so crazy that it deserves an entirely separate video of its own, which I will probably do in the near future. As for the whole PewDiePie N-word drama that they were involved in, I figured I would quickly address it, because you guys would probably want to know my thoughts on it. I do agree that they were being hypocritical for calling out PewDiePie for saying the N-word, when they themselves said the N-word in an episode with iDubbbz. It was the third episode of the H3 podcast, by the way. The reasoning that he said the N-word, or specifically nigger faggot, it was done in a joking manner, whereas PewDiePie, he said the N-word in a non-joking manner, but didn't say it in a malicious way. And while I don't agree with that stance, I can understand where he's coming from. However, he didn't tell anybody this, he didn't make that clear, in the original episode, because apparently he was, like, really drunk. So, he was not thinking straight, and when you combine drinking and live streaming, it can be an absolute disaster. And then he made another video clarifying what he actually meant, and I think if he had just done that initially, I don't think he would have gotten as much backlash as he did. If anything, to all the people out there, there is a lesson that can be learned from all of this. Do not drink under the influence while making videos, trust me. When you're under the influence, it never ends well, and your points come off as incoherent, and you tend to say things that you don't really mean, and then you have to clarify them later, and it's just a giant mess. Anyways, when I said that H3H3Productions was one of the most important YouTube channels of the last decade, I truly meant it. They have faced so much adversity that it's crazy. Lawsuits, demonetization, the future of their channel almost being wiped out entirely. Leafy, Bold Guy, just so much shit. Barely making enough to get by. It's so much for one people, or in this case, two group of people to handle. I feel like most people would have given up, especially if you look at the Bold Guy situation. Most people probably would have given up in their situation. They would have just complied. But they didn't. They held steadfast in their belief of fair use. They fought it, and they won. If that isn't an inspiration to YouTubers as a whole, then I don't know what is. But it certainly inspires me to keep going, even when I feel down, even when I feel like, what's the point of this? Like, is it really worth dealing with all of the bullshit, essentially? And I truly believe that people that file false claims are cowardly. And the fact that they stand up against people that do this kind of shit and they're so vehement in speaking out against it is great. Because it is very much a problem that will never go away. And the moment people stop speaking out about it, the more opportunity these bigger people get to just screw over the little guy. And even though they've gotten really, really big, they've never forgotten that, and that's something that I can truly appreciate. And they seem to be really nice people that are really well adjusted, and for the most part have not let fame go to the head, and they've stayed relatively grounded. And honestly, H3H3 is one of my favorite channels on YouTube. I had so much fun putting this episode together, and there are some people that will say that YouTube is nothing more than a giant dumpster. It's just this dumping ground for hot garbage. But Ethan and Ela show that good content can exist if you work hard, if you put the effort in, and you actually believe in what you put out. You can see the results, and The fact that their channel has blown up so immensely in the last few years is great, and it shows that YouTube has not turned completely shitty, that there's still good content in the sea of just utter garbage, and that is very heartwarming. So if you haven't subscribed to H3H3, what the hell are you doing? Please subscribe to their channel. In fact, after you watch this video, go and subscribe to their channel. It is worth it. You guys will not be disappointed. Now, that's all I gotta say. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty and keep it weird. Cue an outro sequence now.
When you can hear the person on the other end who's saying these things directly to you and they're saying them directly to you, that's a whole other level of harassment, really.
Welcome to the internet, bitch!